There comes a point in every man's life when he finally realizes that he's basically just disposable. And we are the disposable sex. And that we don't really figure this out until our souls get ripped out of our chests or our hearts get ripped out of our chests a few times before it finally clicks in that nobody will ever care about us except ourselves, our parents, and maybe if we have any animals. Other than that, it's always going to be what you can provide other people, the value that you have, and that is the only thing that matters. And then two lanes can form from this. And today, we're going to talk about those two lanes. Okay. If you guys like this kind of conversations, these kind of topics, hit the subscribe button. Let's grow this channel where you listen to a dude talking on a treadmill while he gets his steps in on thoughts that I have. And the thought that I have for today is why are we led to believe that we're not disposable, but we are? And why does it feels like a psyop to a certain degree, right? Where it's like, then again, to be fair, if you actually go back to the Disney movies and it's always a girl falling in love with the Prince Charming, isn't it? Even the Beast is a prince. Aladdin pretends to be a prince. All these variations of this, where when we're young boys watching these movies, we didn't really clue in as to what that was. But Disney wasn't really lying to us, were they? It's like you need to be a prince and provide value in order to get the girl. But I don't know. I don't know why we didn't perceive it that way at the time, right? But we didn't. There's an entire generation of men that didn't, right? And it's like every kind of movie, every kind of rom-com that you see is always like the guy having to provide value, or the guy having to. It's always the guy pretending that he's something he's not, in order to get basically what he's doing is he's showing off a mask of value to get the girl, right? Now, when men realize this, and it's not just women, it's everybody, it's the entire planet. Your job, obviously your job, I mean, come on, right? Your job, if you're not valuable, you're gone. Women, if you're not valuable, you're gone. Your own children, when they become teenagers and adults, if you're not valuable, they're gone. The in-laws, your friends you've known since you were a kid, if you stop providing value, you're gone. We're going to talk about that in depth specifically here. Now, let's talk about the two lanes that this can take you down, right? The two lanes being, it's like a lot of men, this is lane number one, a lot of men get very resentful about this. They feel like, what is the point? There's a third secret lane, by the way. But they're like, what's the point of putting in all this effort if I have to maintain all this effort forever just to even have one friend? And I don't disagree with that to a certain degree. It kind of sucks, man, because here's the best way to relate it, right? And I've done this multiple times, right? I'm not no one is exempt from this law, is what I'm saying, right? I have multiple friends in real life that I have been friends with for 10 years. And they go through a rough patch. Now, it depends how long the rough patch is, to be fair. But some of these guys have been going through rough patches for like a year or two. And then in my mind, I'm like, well, there's no point in even being friends with this guy anymore. Because what is the point? It's like, here's the thing. Okay, if you actually boil it down to if you take the emotion out of it and you really just boil it down, and you have a man that can't provide any value. And what I mean by value is he's not even like funny. He's like a bad vibe kill too. Because being funny is providing value too, right? If a guy's going through a rough patch and he's just a really fun guy to be around no matter what, then that's still fine. Then when the thought of hanging out with that guy comes into your head, you're like, I know I'm gonna have a good time. He's not gonna whine. He's not gonna complain. He's not gonna consume my time asking about how to get out of his rut. We're just gonna vibe and have a good time. That's still value, right? That's still value. But here's the thing. If you actually boil it down, because put yourself in the other person's shoes, right? If you are a man of value and all you do is have value and you're providing it everywhere, you're funny, you have connections, you have a wealth of knowledge, you have a degree of fame, you're very competent. Competent is a big one. You can do things, you can fix things, you're skillful. You're just like that guy. Well, when a guy that's valueless wants to hang out with you, I just had this the other week, man. This guy like bothers the hell out of me trying to hang out with me. I'm like, dude, you're useless. That's no point, right? There's no point. Because what is the actual goal of hanging out with that useless guy, if you think about it? He can't provide you laughter. He can't provide you any new connections. He can't provide you a window into new females or more females. That's another big value add, by the way, is if you have a lot of female friends, a lot of guys want to hang out with you, right? Because you're a window into more females. Now, why don't females have the same problem? Is because they have inherent value. For example, and this kind of goes away as you get older, but you know, when we're younger, we kind of, when you're younger. But if a woman is completely and utterly useless, she still has the potential of sex. Therefore, she will be tolerated for her uselessness in the man's mind for a potential of sex. Forever. And that's the only difference between men and women. The man does not have a vagina, therefore other men cannot get something out of him if he doesn't provide other value. A man can always get something out of her. She always has something she can give. She was born with something that she can give to a man at all times. So she never has to actually build other value in order to be wanted. That's really the only difference. Now, again, that could make some men incredibly resentful. And you gotta think, which one is actually better? Like, if you gotta take the emotions out of it, right? Which one is actually better? Is the one that's better that forces you to improve constantly to provide value? This one over here, the first lane, it just forces you to have a good mindset and to just make other people feel good. Like you don't want to be that black hole that like nobody wants to hang out with. You want to be the fun guy. You want to be the happy guy, the giver of good vibes. And then that makes you happy too, right? Or would you want to be the one that was born never needing to develop any skills at all? And like, this is why you see so many women in their like mid 30s and late 40s and stuff. They're crazy. Because it's like, how, imagine you had like this weird time skip. It's like, okay, it's like, let's say you're 20 years old and you were just born with inherent value, like the vagina. And then you just had like a 20-year time skip and you have no memories of those 20 years. And you're just like thrown into the workforce now at 40 because your inherent value is gone. Somewhat. It's still there for the most part, but let's say you never had to do anything for 20 years and then overnight your value was taken away and now you have to do something. It's like they're kind of lied to as well. They're like, what the hell? No one told me I had to actually develop value, right? Developing value for them is like, they can be funny too, man. They can be smart, they can be funny, they can be fit. They can have cooking skills. I'm talking about the 40-year-olds, right? There's a lot of ways they can provide value, but they never developed the skills on how until it's too late. Do you know what I'm saying? So just what I'm trying to say is be grateful that you're in lane number 1 because you learn about value 20 years before they do. Now, they get 20 more years of fun, but that doesn't mean you can't have fun when you learn about this shit, okay? Be grateful. Now, here's the thing when it comes to friendships again. They will call this being a bad friend, and I got this one buddy of mine. Let me tell you. He is absolutely useless in every single way, shape, and form. Has no connections, can't do anything, can't provide any value. He's fat, he consumes your time, he's lazy, everything. But he's just really good at video games. So like, when we have video game nights, I invite him over. Because I like to have competition in playing with somebody else that's really good at video games. So I'm like, I was thinking the other day, I'm like, I would not be friends with this guy right now if he wasn't good at video games. Because there's no point, right? Now, let's get back to what you can do about it. It's just such an interesting, when you actually audit, you know what your homework is? Go and audit all of your friendships, whether it be females or males, all the friendships. And you have to audit and you have to dive down deep into what is this person providing me or what is the potential that they're providing me, right? And it could just be laughter and good vibes. That's kind of my preference as well. When somebody is just really funny and they're fun to hang out with, that's all I really care about, to be honest. It's like it's a seesaw of value, a scale of value. If a person is kind of like a Debbie Downer 20% of the time, but they're awesome 80% of the time, good enough. You know what I'm saying? They're providing more value in the way of good vibes than they are taking value, right? It's the takers that bother me a lot. But if you actually audit all your friends, they all have some kind of potential value, right? And when you audit your female friends, this is key. And then this will change your perspective on how you view. I do this a lot now that I'm a bit older, but it will change your perspective on how you view female friendships to a certain degree. And it's when you audit your female friends, it's like, am I only friends with her because she has the potential of having sex with me later at a certain time? That is a thing. That is a potential value. It is. Like if she's hot enough, let's say this is kind of a sneaky one, but it's a real thing, where like if a girl is really attractive and she just currently has a boyfriend, you just like be her friend and you just show her that you're the fun guy over a long span of time, and eventually she'll just leave her man for you. Because you're like carefree, you're the fun guy, and then the other guy, the boyfriend, will eventually get insecure about you. And then when they get insecure about you, you become the forbidden fruit. She can't get her mind off of you. That's what I'm saying though. But your friendship with her is knowing in the future that you might get laid, kind of thing, right? That's the only value that you have with that girl, right? That happens a lot. I'm not judging that. I do that shit too. I'm not judging it. It's just like, otherwise I wouldn't be hanging out with that girl. Let me say, because she doesn't offer anything else, right? Now, what else can girls offer for friendship? Wing girls is a big one. I used to have this bestie of mine. I never slept with the girl. She was an odd one. She like wanted to, but she like kept hooking me up with other girls. So I didn't at the time I didn't know if she wanted to, but I think she did. It was super weird. She was a gorgeous club promoter girl. This was like 15 years ago. And I remember she would just get me into all of her clubs for free and all of her venues for free because I was just a fun guy to party with. And she would always introduce me to other girls all the time. And this was kind of my first inkling about like value exchange. And the value exchange here, at the time, I was thinking, hey, I get to save $30 and get in for free. Hell yeah, I'll be this girl's friend. That sounds pretty awesome, right? It's like $30. I didn't realize that she was hooking me up at the same time too. And then what was her value exchange? Later I realized I would drive her home every single time after we went dancing and partying. So if she knew I was there, she knew that she had a safe way home. Whether she went home with another dude or she got home, she knew that she was safe. And she knew that I wouldn't bail on her and not get her a safe way home. Or if she was like too drunk or too high, I wouldn't just like leave her. So I was like her. The value that I provided to this club promoter girl was I was like the safety net of comfort, knowing that she could party as hard as she wanted and never have to worry about her safety. Does that make sense? And in return, she got me into the clubs and introduced me to other girls. So like, and we had a very awesome friend, and we were both funny as shit, right? But then it's like, okay, thinking back, it's like, yeah, there was a direct value exchange there for that friendship, right? Another great reason to have friends, female friends, even if you're not attracted to them and you never want the potential of sex from them and they don't really have any skills to offer you, etc., you can just check out their friends and see if there's any of those. Like basically the friendship to that girl is a doorway to more girls, which is a value exchange, right? Um, Now, where it gets really dark is when a girl is like, when you provide so much value to a girl and she provides nothing back to you and you actually just like own her. And that happens a lot. And then it's like, it's not good in the way that you basically are able, you have so much leverage in that transaction that like she'll just do anything for you. And that's where you get these really dark abusive relationships that happen where like she perceives the man as having so much value. He can like hit her. He can do all the psychological stuff. So back to the disposable aspect of the entire thing and the men. The only reason why women aren't disposable is because there's a swath of men that will take any low-hanging fruit up until the women are like 40, 45, right? So they're not disposable until then. Brother, you want to talk about disposable? A 50-year-old woman. Imagine how that must feel. Like, straight up, by society, they can't work, that no one will hire them. They're weak, they're feeble, they have no attraction. Like, that is disposable, brother. That's sad. Think about that next time you talk to, when you start feeling disposable, think about grandma and how she feels. It just puts things into perspective for you, right? Now, here's the thing. A lot of men, when they watch this kind of content, they never actually try to put themselves in the other person's shoes, the other gender's shoes. And so everyone kind of always wants to play victim a little bit. So lane one, again, is you get resentful that you'll never be loved unconditionally. We've all gone through that phase. It's like, damn it. It's like, I don't want to have to always perform just to keep a woman around, right? I don't want to have to do that. Now, the second lane is kind of an interesting one where it's like, you can just like relish in the freedom that gives you. I think this is a healthier approach where it's like, okay, well, if all human interaction is purely transactional, and you just kind of accept that as reality, then you can kind of start looking out for your own best interests for the first time in your life. And so now, like, let's say I have female friends. I won't keep them around anymore for the potential of getting sex later. Because actually, that's actually not worth my time anymore, right? And I won't keep male friends around if they don't provide me significant levels of value. Because, and then it comes down, when you actually come to this realization of like the freedom, it's like, hey, if nobody is gonna care about me at all, anyway, and even if I do have friends, and even if I get married, even if I get a girlfriend, even if I get kids, I'm never allowed to slip up anyway. Because, well, let's say you have kids, they're like 12 years old, and all of a sudden you get addicted to heroin. Well, yeah, you're no longer a good parent for those kids, right? That's common sense. So you're never allowed to go and do drugs after you have kids. You can't slip up, or your kids will not love you anymore, right? You can't go have a gambling addiction and ask your kids for money. Now you're not providing value. Your kids will not love you. They'll abandon you, right? So your parents and animals, that's it. Like a dog or a cat. Those are the only two that it will love you unconditionally. Even parents, parents have a threshold too, but we won't get into that today. But like, for the most part, parents really do try to love their kids unconditionally, right? But even that one is finicky as shit. I think a dog or a cat are really the only two, right? A dog will follow you into the pits of hell, man. And like they're like animal. I think, not to be like religious or whatever, but like, if there is a God, or if there is a higher power of some sort, I'm pretty sure that deity gave us dogs and cats. Otherwise, us men would literally be like psychos. If we didn't have dogs and cats, we wouldn't have a single creature on this planet that actually loved us. So it's just funny how there's one. It's like we got the one, guys. Do you know what I'm saying? Look, we should be grateful for that one. That's why when I see animal cruelty online, I want to lose my mind, dude. You'd never be cruel to the one creature that loves you unconditionally. That's ridiculous. Anyway, so when you actually learn about this and it frees you up, it's not bad. It's nice. You kind of you lose the white picket fence vision of like retiring and family and all this stuff. You lose that vision a little bit, but you gain the vision of not being disposable. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm dating this girl, I'm providing so much value that she's screwed now. I'm dating this girl, I'm dating both of them, and they're both screwed because they can't do anything about it because I'm providing so much value. There's no competition. Or, if the competition angle isn't for you, you can just be like, well, nobody's gonna care about me anyway if I don't provide value, so I'm just gonna play video games and smoke weed. Cool. But at least you're doing it for you. I'm not suggesting that, that's not a good thing. I'm just saying, if you know that nobody's gonna love you anyway, ever, well then you might as well do whatever the hell you want anyway, and not what other people want. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's the freedom that you're like, nobody cares anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? And then this goes back to like building your business, building your social media, even if you have like haters or whatever, and you have everyone trying to tear you down, really no one cares anyway. What they're trying to do, when you have haters and people in your life trying to stop you from progressing, they're trying to stop the value exchange gap from widening. We'll save that for another video because it's already approaching 30 minutes. But like, when your girl is trying to stop you from going to the gym, she doesn't want your value going up. She doesn't want the discrepancy going up. She wants to give you chocolates, bring that discrepancy down. Do you know what I'm saying? Because deep down she knows that they don't know consciously, it's all subconscious, but subconsciously they know there's a very real transaction going on there, a value exchange. And if you start providing more value than she does, other women are gonna notice, and other women are gonna want a piece of that value. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, again, I've talked about attraction a lot before. Never ever use these metrics of value to attract women. You only use your words and your comedy and your vibe. That's it. I'm talking about in general as a human. If you know people are only gonna love you, love you. If you know people are only gonna wanna be around you because you can provide value anyway, then you might as well do whatever you want anyway, brother. Who cares? Just do whatever the hell you want and don't worry about the consequences because nobody gives a shit anyway. You're never gonna be loved anyway. Take care of your animal though. That animal will love you. Anyway, guys, If you like this content, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Later.